his peak. When you go to God and you start just touching him, and he be like, why are you touching me? Just because you're good. Why are you touching me? Because you're kind. What you want? Nothing right now. I just want you. When you start talking kingdom trash, you start making God stand up from his throne, and he starts saying, what is their desires? What should they get today? I wasn't going to bless them until 60 days from now. But the way they're touching me tonight, I think I will cut the time in half.
Shalom, all praises be unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakak double honor unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone, who rule well, and he taught us this truth, and salutes to all you all came out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. And yeah man, if in 2024, even in previous years, but if in 2024 for sure you're still in the church system, the black church, you know, you're finished in the head, man. You know, that's just what it is. You're finished in the head. Okay. And there you saw a clip of a black church and this guy preaching, and he pretty much, I hate to say it, but he begun to sexualize the Most High, you know, through his limited understanding of so-called God. And he was getting into one word talking about handale or whatever, and it meaning it coming from whatever word he was going to, arousal, you know. And then he started trying to draw this perverted parallel that if you touch God, I'm not even going to say the Most High's name in this because it's crazy, but if you touch God, as it were, in a particular way, you know, through your actions or whatever, then you're going to arouse him to bless you. And that is sick. That's just fucked up, you know. And this is the reason why our people have to be destroyed. Okay. You can't sexualize or sexually entice your way into the good books of the Most High. You know, entering into the good books is by doing what the Most High required, you know, which is to keep the commandments, you know, to have faith, all right, to walk humbly and to do justly, and to push this word, you know. Pretty much what I've just said is a summary of how to be in the good books of the Most High, really in the good books of Yahawah, who presents our case and cause before the Father, because right now the only one in the good books of the Most High is his Son, if you really want to get precise, okay. But that's how the good books talk comes into the equation. But you can't sexualize your way and sexually entice God or the Most High into being in the good books, man. That's just sick, right? Sick in the head. And you know, the scriptures speak about the Most High being a man. So what it probably is that with this guy preaching or pretending to preach, giving his perverted speech in the whorehouse, right? He's probably into men, you know. So he's drawing parallels that make him feel comfortable, more than likely, with his way of life. Now, where it concerns sex and the Most High being in the midst, let's read that, okay? Now, again, this is not to say that you can engage with sex with God, as crazy as that sounds, but you got to say that it's just the Lord being in the environment of where intercourse happens, all right? You know, essentially, the Most High can't be in that environment. and there has to be certain things done for him to come in the midst, which ultimately is the abstinence of sex. Now here's an example of this. Exodus 19 and 15. Now I'll start from verse 14, and it says, "And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the nether part of the mount." So YAHAWAH came down, in the chariot, man, and there had to be certain requirements, The requirement wasn't to wear a 3-piece suit, to bow your head, to wear snake shoes and cufflinks, and put on your most expensive, edu toilet. Cheap ass sprays that these people be using. If you're gonna get perfume, cologne, it's better to go for a good brand or the authentic stuff. But these cheap ass edu toilet ones, people be smelling all sweet and cheap as hell, man. Especially up in that church system. Okay? But none of these things was the requirements. The requirements is that we washed our clothes and our garments were clean. And of course we were washed and clean bodily. And that we abstained from having sex with our wives. Okay? Because what does sex do? Sex makes a person unclean. Now there's a difference between being unclean and sin. Being unclean is not a sin. Alright? Being unclean is merely being unclean. But when unclean, there's certain things you can and can't do. Okay? This is Leviticus chapter 15, and it deals with the cleanliness of a woman after she's experienced her period, and it also speaks about sex. Let me see if I can find the verse. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 15, and okay, he's talking about the flowers going on a man. Bear with me 1 second as I find it. Right. Leviticus chapter 15 and 16. "And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. And every garment and every skin wherein is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the even." Okay, so sex puts you in a state of uncleanliness. Okay, so you have sex with your woman and you're in a state of uncleanliness. Again, uncleanliness is not to be mixed up with sin. It's not a sin. It's just a state of being, which is unclean. So what you do is you wash yourself. Your woman washes herself, alright, with water and soap. And then you'd be removed of your bodily impurities, but you'd still be in a state of uncleanness until the sun goes down the next evening. So when the sun goes down the next evening, alright, the next time the sun goes down, that's when you're ceremonially clean again. Okay? So, that just lets you know that sex puts you in that state, right? Okay? So back in Exodus 19 and 15, "And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives." So it takes one day or the next evening, which is the next day, the beginning of the next day, for you to be clean, right? At evening. But because YAHAWAH was coming down, we had to be extra clean, which was 3 days. So 3 days, no sex. Okay, so that just lets you know, these two precepts let you know that, number one, sex puts you in a state of uncleanliness. And number two, when the Most High came down, we had to be extra clean times 3. Because it only takes one day or the next evening for you to be clean. Right? But because YAHAWAH came down, it had to be 3 days. Extra holy, extra clean. So the Most High can't be in the environment of sex. He created sex, but he himself can't be in the environment of sex because of one of the byproducts of sex. One of the byproducts of sex is that you become unclean. Okay? On to the next evening. So how the hell can you refer to the Most High in terms of sex? It just doesn't add up. But a Christian, would go to such lengths of madness and preach that madness in their congregation because they don't read the scriptures. Anybody that understands the scriptures would understand you can't speak of the Most High sexually. Okay? Now, there's places in scripture where it speaks of seduction and a woman, but that's speaking of wisdom. Okay? Because wisdom possesses a feminine spirit, a feminine energy, if you will. Okay? But as for the Most High, alright, as he was saying, touch him and you caused the Most High to get up. I don't even want to repeat that madness, man. But that is absolute filth. Okay? The Lord never made man for man to I don't even want to say that, man. The Lord made woman for man, alright? Man for touch woman, brethren, yeah? And woman for touch man. Simple as that. Her man. His woman. That's how it goes. Ain't no touching up the Most High or nothing. That's just wrong, blasphemous, and out fucking rageous, man. Okay? But again, this is why Christianity, has to get in the bin. And all those that don't wake up, because the Lord don't want them to wake up, they're going to have to die, man. Okay? This is acceptable in the eyes of Jesus. Because they're in the spirit of Jesus. Okay? And it's a homosexual vibration anyway. But that's who Jesus is. Alright? So there you go. I just wanted to bring out that madness and show you how far gone the Christian church is. And what the scriptures say, at least, where it concerns the Most High and sex. The Lord can't be in that environment, man. So, yeah, man. Shalom. Madness.